Have you ever felt like I'm doing all the right things? I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing exactly what all the experts have said. I'm doing exactly like what I've read online or whatever it is, but I'm just not getting the results. Or I'm watching someone else do the exact same thing I'm talking about, where they're going through the motions and they're doing a lot of the things that are recommended or what are best practices, but they're just not getting the result. It could be something as simple as your language could be influencing your future and not in a positive way. So if you find that you are just not getting the result, maybe we need to take a good hard look at the greatest tool that you have at your disposal, and that is you. You are the greatest tool that you have. So my name is Kevin Johnson. I'm the CEO of Leverage Consulting. And over the decades that I've worked with clients, one of my favorite sayings in life is that all the solutions in life are super simple until we complicate them with people. Sometimes us, sometimes others. So the one thing you always have control over is working on yourself. And then when you can work on yourself, you might be able to help others as well. So I have 4 things that you can take a look at that may help you and will likely help you get more and better outcomes. And again, a lot of this is going to be dedicated to your language, because it's how we communicate. And this list is not necessarily presented in order of importance, because every one of the 4 things that I'm going to talk about may actually mesh together. They may actually work in tandem. One goes hand in hand with the other, and it's going to be different for every one of you. Some of you may be fantastic in one category, but maybe we have to work on a different one. So the first thing on my list of the 4 things that you can work on to improve your language to get better outcomes is your body language. And that is part of how you communicate. So when you think about it, you probably thought I was going to lead with certain positive language or something like that. No, I am actually leading with your body language. So the way you communicate, 7% of what you say, the actual words that come out of your mouth, if you were to write them down, that's only 7% of how you communicate. Because you could take the same statement, I said you were late. I said you were late. I said you were late. So I could just change the meaning of a sentence purely by my body language, or maybe what word I accentuate. But in that, you have the ability through your body language to change how you are perceived. I'll give you an example of this. I've worked with a number of leaders and managers over the years, and some of them that when they are brought a problem, we get all kinds of looks. We get like, not another one, not you again, okay? And with the body language, so body language itself, our physical appearance is 55% of how we communicate. So even if I don't say anything, if I walk into somebody's office and I bring them a problem, if I get this from them, well, let me ask you something. Do I have to say anything? Well, actually you do. Because if you don't say anything, it could be that look on their face is purely because they just don't have time right now. This is bad timing. I have time an hour from now, but not right now. It could be the look on my face is perceived as you again, like another problem from you. It could be that I'm annoyed with the fact that it's what the problem's about. Okay, so with my body language alone, I'm communicating negativity, but I'm leaving the other person in the dark. They don't know what's this facial expression and body language about. Is it about them, the problem, the repetition of the problem? What is it? If you don't tell them, they are left guessing. So your body language oftentimes can dictate how you're perceived. And it could be that if you check your body language, if you record yourself, if you get a mirror, look at your face and your body language. Have someone else take a picture of you. Because even how you sit in a chair, if you look aloof, years ago, I was part of a 360 leadership feedback project at a company I used to work for. And I learned that my facial expressions were causing other people problems. And it's because I'm a thinker. I had no malintent. I had no interest in making other people feel uncomfortable, but I did. And it was purely because the people that I worked with were talkers. They had to talk to then formulate great ideas, and then they could take what they've been talking about and then encapsulate it a different way, and then present it as, here's my solution, or here's my way I think we could do it, or whatever that may be. Whereas I'm the person that I sit back and I think. And while everybody is talking, I'm constantly thinking. I'm thinking about what they're saying. I'm thinking about my own solution. But the fact that I wasn't talking and I wasn't constantly, yes, Tell me about it, okay? Because I wasn't acknowledging their ideas and I wasn't talking about those things, I made them uncomfortable. That was part of my body language. I had to learn from that. And since then, I think it's gotten a lot better. Always have something to work on. No one's perfect. So your body language, you have to think, is part of how you communicate. So for some of you, this may be the biggest thing to overcome. And you may see the biggest progress, the biggest ROI on improving your language to improve your outcomes. You may see it purely by working on your body language, and it may be your facial expressions, it may be how you carry yourself, it may be use of your hands, it could be any of those things, any combination of those things. But think about how you communicate with your body language. So the second thing on my list, could be your list, is word choice. And word choice might not be just the word, but it might be the words that you put together and string together into a sentence or a response or something. So the word choice might be, forget the body language for a moment, but the word choice might be when someone walks into the room and they say, I have a problem. Well, if my response is something along the lines of, yes, you do, you have a problem. Or great, two different responses, but they communicate the same thing. You're looking at it as a negative as well. Whereas if you are a leader, a manager, subject matter expert, or anything like that in your office, then you should be welcoming them coming to you, because they're coming to you to learn how to overcome something. Now, mind you, if it's someone who's always looking for you to solve their problems, then we need to teach them how to solve their own problems. And that's part of maybe how you learn to respond to people in changing your word choice. And you might say something along the lines of, what solutions have you come up with already? Because at that point, I'm asking, have you thought this through? Or did you immediately encounter the problem, stood up from your desk and walked in to see me? I don't want that. You're being paid to solve problems. So I want you to think about it for a minute. And if you are coming to me, I want you to present the problem, and I want you to present whatever solutions you've come up with, or ones that you tried and didn't work, or something. Or come in and say, I've thought about this for however long, and I just can't come up with a better way of doing this. So your word choice and how you respond to things or how you state things will have a great impact, okay? Because again, I can use the word great, and how I use that. Great. Let's work on how we make this patient or this customer or this client happy, okay? So instead of me saying great as in a negative way, I can say great in all seriousness. Let's figure out how we make this person happy. It could be, great, I want to teach you how to never have this problem again. You could be going into a team meeting where you know you have a new concept. And in going in, you might start with, I have a new piece of software that we're going to implement, and this is what it's going to do for us. This is what it's going to do for our clientele. And this is what it's going to do and you can state the 3 benefits that we'll get out of it. You're leading with the positivity of this. So that really leads me to the third thing, and that is leading with positivity. And again, these things are not, my list of 4 things are not necessarily in order, because each one of you, it may affect you differently, or you may have different opportunities with the list of 4 things. So when you lead with positivity, you lead with what everyone's going to get out of it. Because if you don't have problems, you have a serious problem. So when we have the problems, we have an opportunity to make something better. So we don't need, it's not a great skill set to find the negative or the problem in things. The great value in people is when they can find solutions to things, when they can make something that looks hard and make it look simple. It's when they make a problem that looks hard and they can teach other people not to have the same problem. So when you think about leading with positivity, you lead with the one thing that a lot of other people are having trouble with, and that is finding the positive. So lead with, this is how this software is going to benefit the folks in the back of the office. This is how the software is going to benefit the people at the front of the office. This is how the software is going to benefit the people who are subject matter experts. This is how, so you're leading with all the positivity of this. If there are going to be time savings, if there's going to be improved communication, if there's going to be, list all the positives. That's leading with positivity. Tell your team, tell your people, tell anyone who wants to hear you the positives, the things that they should be taking away from this interaction. They need to know what the positives are. So the 4th thing on my list, which is, and again, all these things are really intertwined, but it's really how you react verbally. So you have to think about, how do you react verbally when problems arise? And it could be, again, and I've covered a little bit of this already, but it's it is, yes, the body language, but it's the words that we choose to use when people bring us the problem. Because when I said lead with positivity, you may know there's a problem, but maybe the team hasn't brought it to you yet. You just know it's a problem. So you take that opportunity in a team meeting. Could be a short meeting at the beginning of the day. It could be a all staff meeting where you're covering a topic for 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. You could be covering that, and you have that opportunity to lead with positivity. And it's in a sense, a scripted way to ensure that everyone sees the benefits of the solution, what they should be thinking, and so on. Whereas when you react to it, you don't have the time to script it out. You don't have the time to figure out how to position this in the right way sometimes. So you have to get good on your feet. And if you feel like this is a big enough problem that you're not going to react well, maybe you need to hit the pause button. Maybe you need to say, I don't know that I have the time to dedicate to this right now, and I want to dedicate a little thought before you and I come up with a good solution. So how about you and I meet at 1 o'clock later today? How about you and I meet tomorrow? Okay, so now we're putting a little bit of time and distance to where you can script a better response. It could be that you are super deliberate and tell them, I know this doesn't look like fun. However, you and I are going to find a really good solution. I don't have one right now. So give me a little bit and I'll get back to you. Okay. And it's because you're going to retain control. When you give people bad reactions to things, when you have that immediate reaction of negativity, okay. And when I've said in this video, negativity, this isn't about your perception. It's about their perception. And again, I've been through this in the past. It's partly how I've developed myself over the years, is you have to listen to those that are around you and how they perceive you. So if they perceive you as reacting negatively, then you need to work on that. And being direct is not being negative. And I do want to point that out. Being direct is not a negative thing. Negativity is where we continue to focus on the problem, the fact that we have a problem, and we want to know why about the problem, and that's all we talk about. That's negativity. We can still get to the meat of the matter. We can still get to the details of the matter. We can get to the why behind it. But as long as we stay focused on the solution and we talk about only the problem and only the solution, and we don't focus on maybe dragging someone under the bus or pointing out that someone has deficiencies or something else like that, that's staying positive. So staying positive is a way for you, again, if I don't talk about the individual, that's helping me react in a better way, a positive way, so I'm not contributing to the problem. And that's really the reason for putting reactions in check and thinking about and being really deliberate with how you react when someone brings you a problem. As a leader, a manager, a longtime employee, someone who's a subject matter expert on something in your business, they're going to be problems every day, and they should, okay? Now, if you feel like, and to my point, with reacting positively, you're in control of yourself. So if you know you don't do well with people literally standing outside your door like they're at the deli counter, take a ticket kind of thing, set aside time. Make time to where you're not going to act like you're stressed out. If you need the first 2 hours of the day to get the day running, take care of some problems from the day before, get your feet under you, any of those kinds of things. If that's what you need, then tell your team, after 10 o'clock in the morning, my door is open. Before 10, I don't care if the building is on fire. I don't care if we're being flooded. I don't care about any of that stuff. Don't bring me a problem unless we have a medical emergency in this place. And they need, and so in a sense, you're training them when is a good time. So now for you have created a structure for them to bring problems to you, and then you can react in an appropriate way on your time. Unless it's a super critical emergency, like we have a medical emergency in the office. So again, the 4 ways for you to really change your language so you get better outcomes is, number 1, your body language, which I've already described. And I'm sure as I described it, you thought of all kinds of examples, and they might be people in your personal life, it might be people at the office, but body language communicates so much. And even over the phone, body language can be communicated. So if somebody is slouching in a chair, if they're sitting up and they're erect, if they're walking around, you're going to hear 3 completely different people. So body language matters at all times. Word choice is huge, and it's just whether you choose to word things in a positive perspective, positive outcome kind of way, or our language focuses on the problem. How we lead positively, and again, it may be, in a sense, think of it as a scripted positive response to tell people what to think so they can think positively, and also for them to focus on the positive outcomes. And then reacting positively. So you're going to have things that are brought to you off the cuff, out of the blue, and you have to learn how to positively react to those things, help those people come to a positive solution, and then move on. So the reason I've been able to boil these 4 things down to you is because I've worked with people just like you for 23 years. If I can be of help to you in any other way, whether it's another video, an idea for a video, you can drop in the comments below. You can contact us directly. I'd love to hear from you and work with you.